Hello, hello. All right. Good morning, everyone. All right. So, to those of you just entering into the Zoom, right, just make sure that you check the attendance ATD for today's class. เดี๋ยวเราไปเช็คชื่อด้วยนะครับใครที่เข้ามาแล้วเดี๋ยวออนไลน์ไปก่อนนะฮะหลังมิดเทอมเพราะว่าการออนไซต์เพราะอาจารย์ไม่ได้อยู่ก็ชั่วโมง All right, so today class we are going to have a group presentation, all right? So those of you who have to do a presentation today, just raise your hand for me, please.
You mean the present today, right?
Yeah, the presentation for today class. Yep. Just raise your hand for me, please, because we are going to listen different presentation and I'm going to stop the screen, right? My screen, and then you can share your screen to each other. But first of all, you have to make sure that you check the attendance for today's class. So for this week, class number 6, week number 6, right? So we are going to see the organizer and attendees decision-making criteria as a topic for today's class. Yeah.
Can we start now?
Yep.
Please wait for a moment.
Uh, Good morning, everybody. We are from Group 6. Today, we're gonna present about travel incentive. So, the definition of travel incentive can be defined as a trip designed to motivate and reward employee, business, associate, or is like a motivational tool for enhanced productivity, business objective. Okay, so we're gonna talk about character of this travel will be clarified in the for this slide. Firstly, this is some kind of motivational tool. Secondly, this is as a reward or recognition of achieved goal set or sales target. Thirdly, it is provided by a company or organization. And lastly, it must be designed for employee in advance to above criteria and qualification process plan. And the next one, we're gonna talk about type of incentive travel program. As you can see on the left side, closed-end incentive program. For this one, it is easy to prepare element for trip and budget, but there are some advantages. It might not cover and support all of our employee caused by the limit quota. So it might discourage employee, especially new employee who have just achieved criteria and have not been at the top of group yet. And on the right side, open and incentive program. For this one, it will be more motivate our employee because anyone who reach the achievement or target will be able to join the incentive trip. But it is harder to prepare element for trip and also budget.
For the next topic will be importance of intensive travel. There are 16, which are 1. Drive desired outcome. 2. Improve top performer retention. 3. Ensure positive organizational culture. 4. Provide networking opportunities. 5. Build motivation. And 6. Provide recognition. And I will continue to key success factor of incentive travel. The first one is communication. Top management must inform all employee of the detail of the plan allocation before the intensive travel program. And two, the second is earn criteria and allocation. The criteria must be realistic and attainable for candidates and must be thoroughly and clearly identified to everyone involved.
And the third one, incentive program design. The agenda should include with compensation that show overall business objective and also shape the program to promote synergy among top company performers. Next, host role. Host is an executive management who are participating in every event in mingle with staff. And the last one, budget. The budget, we can think that both way of limited budget and the key to success. For example, if you have a lot of budget, you can manage everything that what you want to make a perfect event. But if you have late and limit budget, some part of event may cut out or not perfect enough. So budget management is an important to do. We must organize in a proper way to make a good incentive travel.
Moving on to look at key stakeholders in the incentive travel industry. The first one is incentive organization. They are external subcontractors who plan and run programs on behalf of the company and usually further solicit different parts of service to other service providers. The second one is service providers and supplier. It's a site selection company, destination management company, hotel, airlines, and car transportation. This industry will benefit from incentive travel business by offering their service and facilities to the employee during their travel. The third one is Convention and Visitor Bureau, or CVB. These organizations promote and facilitate the mine industry within the country or region it represents. It is usually non-profit and provide education and resources to local community and travelers with the aim of promoting travel to a location, events, and convention in the area, and other hospitality business.
And the last one,
Can you go back to
um,
the last slide?
and the last one, other association. There are 3 organizations. The first, Thailand Incentive and Convention Association, TICA. It's a non-profit organization that helps and growth of Thailand as a preferred destination for the mine industry. The second, Society of Incentive Travel Executive, or SITE. It's provide educational seminar and information service to those who design, develop, promote, sell, administer, and operate motivational program as an incentive to increase productivity in business. And the last one, the Incentive Research Foundation, IRF. It's a non-profit organization. The organization promotes scholarly research, development, and educational for the global incentive industry. IRF publish journal and hosts conferences.
Now let's move on to the outlook of incentive travel. In 2012, the economic downturn had a major impact on the global economy, and the optimism has spread again with regards to condition of economy. Research also suggests that organizations, especially in the US, are shifting into a new normal stage, which refers to less spending, investment, and consumption. Organizations are trying to find ways to justify the importance of incentive travel programs while undergoing budgetary constraints. Next, let's take a look at some of trends for incentive travel industry. Incentive travel budgets set aside would remain unchanged. Individual incentive travel is one of the fastest growing trends in the incentive, rewards, and recognition industry, and also can offer attractive and flexible options that inspire and motivate the most value performance. Destinations are now moving from international to domestic locations together with a reduction in trip length.
As you can see from the slide, this is value chain in incentive travel industry. A back and forth communication and between the company and incentive organization to indicate that back and forth nature in the step required to plan and execute an incentive trip. Most incentive organizers will coordinate and subcontract most tasks to dependable service providers such as hotel, airline, ground transportation, and local tour operators. And the important part of an incentive trip is when the company and incentive organization begin to work together, since it's marked where the scope and content of the particular incentive trip are defined. Next. This is a topic about incentive travel industry in Thailand. As you can see from the chart, in 2010, incentive travel in Thailand represent 20% of total spending in the mine industry, represent over 10.5 billion Thai baht. As you can see from the graph, it shows that the revenue grow on average at the rate of 4.3% from 2006 to 2010. The number of incentive travelers grew at 4% annually during the same period, and the growth in this sector was moderate due to the economic downturn in developed countries. And the next topic is top destination in Thailand. There are 4 provinces that consider as a top destination in Thailand. The first one is Bangkok. The city of Bangkok is regarded as a fun and active city, a fast-paced and city-style travel program with a better value for money compared to the other cities in the region. Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai has been awarded as 4th top city in Asia. The city itself located in the northern part of the country, and it is one of the most attractive sites available in Thailand. Phuket. Phuket was ranked the 3rd best island in Asia. Phuket is one of the most popular islands in Thailand, filled with lively, cosmopolitan, and colorful activity. And the last province is Hua Hin. Within close traveling distance to Bangkok, it is another spectacular beach destination. Hua Hin is more serene and well preserved. Thank you.
All right, done. Done. Right, done for a good presentation. Class just send me the PDF file into the line group too, right? Just because we can make sure that your group done for today presentation. Yeah. Any good presentation? Just done, right? Me, me, now. All right. So today class we have to cover for chapter 6, right? Okay, so you can see like organizers, attendees, decision-making criteria. Okay, look at for the first slide here. So what do you see from this slide? So actually it's all about like the factors, right? Factors for organizers or even attendee decision-making criteria here. So we have to understand the factors, even criteria first, just because when it comes to to do something from my business here, so we need to understand a bit, right? Okay, shall we start for the first here? So this is the selection of destination, right? So we can see selection of destination can be divided into criteria here. Just make sure that this one is very important to understand, right? For the destination for my business. The first one is that decision criteria in selecting the destination, right? So we have to see destination requirement, right? The factors or even like something that we need to know before launching or even selecting a destination here, and other related requirement. Second, destination requirement supporting infrastructure, just because we have to talk about a location or specific places to run any kind of organizers here. And also rules and regulation, right? Just because we have to understand what we should do or shouldn't do in any kind of like place that we choose. Selected and preferred, meaning that the destination of the above has specific requirement You have to understand that the previous place may be substituted to this new place, or even if we are considering to choose a new place or destination here, we have to see like in the past time what have done or something that should not do or not, things like that, right? So this one is kind of like a selection destination for an organizer here. So we can see the selection destination first, just because we have covered 3 aspects here, right? And I'm going to cover maybe 12 slides here, and after that we can discuss to each idea what you get from this kind of content. Just because so for this course, I think that the first half we have to understand the content matters, right? So the detailed explanation based on the PDF file here. And the second one is that reflective writing or even discussion, just because we need to prepare for a midterm exam. I'm going to say that for your midterm exam, it's just only reflective writing, right? From maybe week 4, 5, 6, things like that. And we have to write and prepare a bit. And for the midterm day, you don't have to prepare much if you did weekly, right? Okay. So the first one is that selection destination here, corporate meetings and incentive travel decision criteria, right? Second, we have to talk about convention organizer, or it stands for PCO, right? Decision criteria here. And next, convention attendees decision criteria, exhibition organizer decision criteria, and the last one is that exhibition attendees. So you can see like the difference between the two, right? Organizer and then attendee. Just because when it comes to running or organizing such a project here, so we have 2 sides. The first one is organizer, and the second is participant or even attendees here. Yeah. Okay, so the first one, right? This is the core content that we have to understand a bit, just because you need to do for the second half after midterm, you have to do a project, right? For 4 groups, big group actually, right? Let's say I can say that what you need to understand is that the factor first, and then after that you can apply from what you need to do or you cannot do here. Corporate meeting and incentive travel decision criteria here. Let's say like for any destinations to be preferred, they have to be accessible and convenient. Okay, so the keyword here is that what you need to consider when it comes to run a project or create something here, right? It must be accessible or even convenient here. Location attractiveness can be measured through scenery, culture, history, architecture. With unique and exotic destination, the more will be preferred. Meaning that, for example, like when we are talking about the specific location in Thailand, so we have to focus on unique or exotic destination. For example, like a river or something that beautiful place or unique architecture, temple or things like that, right? Anyway, it's all about like a marketplace, so we have to see which one would be, which one can be organized or which one cannot be organized, just because the convenience and accessible is a key here. Yeah. For corporate meeting, the availability of meeting facilities also comes into play. So first one is that availability, meaning that it is easy to run or it is easy to do that. Availability free of anything, is that right? And there must be enough rooms to accommodate every attendees, participants here, and meeting rooms to meet all requirements. So this one would be like a factor, right? To accommodate. So for example, like if attendees a lot size, so you have to think that it might be accommodate for those of people or not, things like that. Okay. Next one is that the level of technology. Okay, this is a criteria, right? Level of technology, quality of services, and expertise in corporate meeting can also help to identify the place which is suitable to host meeting or not. So during this time, we can see like we can use Zoom, right, for corporate meeting, or even we can use some kind of technology or cutting edge technology here in order to accommodate things like that. So what we need to understand or even reconsider is that which one would be the most fit for this kind of corporate meeting here, okay? And last one is that one of the most important factors that can influence the decision making of holding corporate meeting here or even incentive travel here is safety and security. Highlight here, right? Safety and security. And this one would be like it is decision making for a criteria, right? So you can just highlight the keyword here: accessible, convenient, availability, accommodate, right? And then maybe safety and security. That's it. Done for the first one here. Clear, man? Clear and clear. Okay, good. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Moving to second one, right? Oh no, I mean like this one would be like maybe there's the more selection criteria here. With corporate meeting and incentive travel, so we talked about the two aspects here, right? Corporate meeting and also incentive travel. Basically, clients work closely with destination management companies, so we have to connect with the agency or even the things that we can connect to. So we call destination management company DMC, right? And incentive houses to decide the location and which they want to organize meeting and revert as an incentive trip. Okay, so it means that in order to make sure that it is easy to connect or even cooperate with the specific place, just make sure that the destination management company can provide some facilities here. Yep. While DMC and incentive houses suggest that to provide suitable location based on the need of the client, it is the client who will be the one of select final location. So here for this slide, we just talk about who we are directing to connect with. That's it. Moving to the second one. Okay. So convenient organizer PCO decision making here. Decision criteria factor, right? So according to this, we can see like nature of decision making process in tendering destination. There are some of qualification, right? Set of qualification in each association, right? So the first one is that destination requirement. Supporting infrastructure and accessibility enhancement factor. So for this one, it's all about like infrastructure, right? Infrastructure meaning building. Okay, so even accessibility enhancement factor here. It said that supporting infrastructure and accessibility enhancement factor include destination support, accessibility, time zone, right? Time zone, meaning just because we talked about like if we run international conferences, right? So it means that Western and Eastern country might be different in terms of time zone, language barrier, just focus on English communication here, or even telecommunication infrastructure too, economic stability or even local staff that can cooperate or even run the business easily here. So the keyword here is that infrastructure and then accessibility. Yeah. Second, you can see the most important supporting infrastructure and accessibility enhancement factor should be destination support. Okay, highlight again, destination support, right? Destination support, meaning that everything can be support for this kind of thing, right? According to convention organizer. The first one is that financial support, or it's all about money, right? You can see financial support can come in a form of grant or even sometimes low interest loan. meaning that you have to make sure that budget planning here might go with flow to the financial support here. And a discount of for recommendation. This is a detail, right? Airline, airline, or even incentive commission refund or cash subversion. So it talks about money here. So you can say like if you're using some kind of a credit card or loan, something, right? So we have to make sure that it's kind of might not cause a problem later time. Yep. In-kind support, meaning that free dinner of delegate, right? Free maps, free city pass, free transportation code, and then free advice or assistance of housing event of any kind. The second one is that the factor that can help you run some kind of convention or even organizer here, try to make sure that it goes into the right direction. Okay. And also what we need to understand is that the first one is financial support and support from others. Okay. Done. Okay, so moving to next one is that rules and regulation here. Okay, convention organizer, right? Decision criteria, how we have to understand the rules or what we need to do or cannot do, things like that. Desirable rules and regulation, for example, like maybe attendees or participant can do something like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Include union labor relations, custom regulation or requirement, what refund and measure of ticket currency. So it's all about like what we have to provide some facilities in order to make sure that they don't even blend later time, just because lots of attendees or even participants may understand this kind of rule or regulation. So for convention organizers need to understand this kind of thing too. Yeah, so we have to understand rule and regulations. Yeah, and next is that ambience and appeal to the destination. It is mentioned that attractiveness, right? Okay. So we can see destination appeal that contribute to total experience. So we have to research where would be the right place, things like that. Famous destination attraction, nightlife, shopping, and other leisure facilities. For example, like if you are going to locate some convention at Asiatic riverfront, for example, right? So we need to see that a nightlife what is going there or shopping destination would be the suit for this kind of people and not, things like that, right? Are always a key factor to decide for this kind of experiences. And also destination should also promote cultural appeal, food quality and services, or this kind of thing that you have to understand, right? So what you need to highlight here is that rule and regulation and appeal of destination. That's it. Okay, moving to next slide here, we can see PASIO again, right? Decision making and decision criteria. So second one is that convention requirement. It talks about what we are going to do under the requirement that is aligned with convention here. First one is that the destination criteria discussed above are concerned with macro component of the destination's ability to support the convention. Okay, here it talks about way we can start doing so. Next step is to look at other components at destination that specifically and effective support, right? Effective support in a particular convention. So you can see like this is there are lists of something that we have to understand, right? The first one is that membership and non-membership base within the proposed destination or location. I highlight here membership, okay? Or even non-membership here. Second, possibility of getting local speaker, okay? Strength of local committees, sponsor, price, cost of renting venues, right? Availability, suitability of venues, and the last one is that strength of industry related to topic convention and exhibition. So from 1 to 7, do you think which one is the most important factor here? So we can divide into maybe 3, right? 3 scope. The first one is that local, right? Local. I mean, like local speaker or local committee, local people. We talked about people. Second is that location, and the last one B, I would say it's all about budget, right? Or even sponsor pricing, things like that. Clear. Maybe you have to understand 7 criteria here, and then just make sure or apply in the project planning. Okay. Understood? Yes or no? If you understand, type yes for me, please. And yes, no. All right, good. So moving to next one is that selection of destination again, right? So we can see convention attendees, decision criteria. So I just mentioned for 3 aspects, right? The first one is that, convention, right? Convention organizer. And the second is that the target, right? Target destination, and the last one is that we have to see convention attendees decision criteria here. So this one will be like very important for all of you to understand, just because this one is, it talks about the target, right? The target participant here. Delegates attending to the convention, more benefit it brings to the organizing association and the host location. So we can see like just only 4 aspects that we have to understand. The first one is that personal and business factors, readiness of delegate or attendees, personal issue individually, meaning that they must be free or even available to, to attend this kind of party. So we have to see personal and business factor. If they're free, they don't have any business, it's fine, right? And meaning that if you have to make sure that those people or delegate must be aware in that time, that's all. Second, association conference factors. So we need to see that this involved with association or peer recognition, meaning that everyone agree. Recognition means famous, right? Peer means people or interpersonal, like close friends, things like that, right? Recognition here. And then professional contact. If you are going to contact with those people in a different level, right? For example, manager or executive. So you have to be more professionally in terms of contacting those kind of people too. Personal interaction and local community. Next factor is that location factor. So just mention or just highlight here, attractiveness, right? Attract to lots of people. And the second, easy to access, meaning that accessibility is a keyword, right? Traveling, things like that. And the last one is that it's all about money here, cost factor, right? Monetary, transportation, traveling by, SkyTrain, BTS, things like that, right? Or even accommodation or registration. Non-monetary here, opportunity that participant can calculate when attending a convention, meaning that it might cost their time or not, or for example, like if they have to travel far away from where they live, meaning that it might not cause a problem with money, but in terms of another factor, they must be considered too. Okay, this one is that convention attendee decision criteria. Moving to exhibition organizer decision criteria here, right? So we can see from this one, okay, just only 3 bullet point here. Choosing destination for an exhibition It's not clear-cut step of how it actually being carried out, meaning that it is flexible. So in conclusion here, you have to see that there is no clear cut, meaning that it can be done in a different way, right? So PEO usually based to procedure on a previous experience, as choosing destination is usually done by an event organizer or not by buyer for sale or sellers here. What does it mean here? It means that it depends on what you did in the previous time or previous experience can be the main factor in choosing what we are going to do next for the exhibition here. For example, like if we run exhibition in a shopping mall, right? Siam Paragon or even Central World, things like that. So if it was popular at that time, so meaning that we can continue again and again, things like that. So it depends on the previous experience here. Yep. And also, recognition here, market surveys are tools used to identify an opening an exhibition, which at the end goes back to the amount of willingness in buyer and seller, right, to participate. Okay, so we have to make sure that this kind of thing or recognition, famous one, market survey, lots of factors here can go together, right? And also the business opportunity available in a particular location. This would be like, maybe we have to change a bit if it change from time to time. For example, like if it talks about the exhibition in the previous place cannot be popular much, so we have to change it. For example, if you think that, sitting in the hotel is not popular, so we have to move to outdoor places for exhibition here. Yep. Next one. Okay, so we can see exhibition organizer decision criteria again. This would be like a core conclusion for general criteria that PEO, right? Okay, so that someone who have to run this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So the first one is that attendance marketing. Mm-hmm. Attendance marketing is a key factor that has a direct impact on the choice of sites to be selected. Meaning that we have to survey, right? Survey for a participant marketing here, just because if there is, let's say like if there is no people here, so meaning that it failed for running this kind of organization here or even exhibitions, okay? And second, it concludes, right? It includes everything that could affect the decision to attend show or not. First one is that location, geographic, exhibition location and transportation networks, types of exhibition or program content or even entertainment and tourism options. Mm-hmm. So you can see like when you understand this kind of thing, right? Just make sure that you got a keyword here, right? And then try to simplify the word into your own understanding. For example, like geographic here, you have to understand that it talks about location, right? And this kind of thing like related to, yep. And for trade shows, right, or the big show here, design facility are airport, accessibility, connected transportation network, adequate local accommodation, and friendly policy or environment here. Mm-hmm. So for example, if you run a festival, a big, for example, in terms of New Year festival or even some grand party, things like that, right? A big one or trade shows, I can say that facility have to be the most important factor to decide what we are going to do. Mm-hmm. Rules and regulations here should be on top of the list that they can make or break overall operation and exhibition in terms of logistic and exhibition requirement here. All right, so For this one, also the exhibition organizer decision making too. Second, we have to see basic facility requirement, right? This one is that it talks about facility requirement. Okay, so the first one is that exhibition hall location, right? An appropriate amount of total footage or even proper height, height, floor load capacity, lodging dock storage with ventilation system. It means AC, right? Air conditioning. Utility communication system must be suitable for the types of exhibition. Public service area, washroom. Event venue or event studio side. All right, so I think this one is really like selection a destination that we have to cover for today's class. So moving to service provider selection, right? I'm going to say that we're gonna have like so we're done for the first one already, right? So just choose 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 8 group discussion and just let only 1 or 2 students to talk about this kind of thing. Okay. All right, if you're ready, you can turn on the microphone and just talk, and type done when you finish here. Yep. So we're gonna have like group 3, group 6, group 2, group 4, group 7, and then group 8. Everyone choosing the discussion topic here, right? Just come up with 2 topic here, just because I think only for service provider selection, and then the last one is that Thailand mice branch, right?
We are from group 7 for Thailand Mice Band.
Yep.
The important factor in choosing the destination in Thailand, Mice Band are service 30%, value for money 17%, rule and regulation 17%, environment 14%, facility 11%, and accommodation and transportation 11%.
The most important factor is service, including several aspects, such as hospitality, languages, communication, and capability of staff. Safety and security are under rules and regulations factor to consider as a key fundamental aspect. Value for money also important in time of uncertain global economy. Thank you.
I see. Thank you so much for your sharing the kind of conclusion here. Right? Just type done for me, please. Both of you. ใครพูด done เข้ามาหน่อยครับ done นะ
Teacher group 3 next.
Yep. Good.
We talk about Thailand My Brand study by GCEB. The important factor of choosing destinations is having a good service is still the most important factor to making a good impression. Next, that should be considered as key fundamental aspect for mice is safety and security of destination and also client likely value of money. Also play an important role, especially in time of uncertain global economy. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing here.
Um,
Done.
oh.
Wow. Go ahead. Yep.
Oh, please. We are going to talk about service provider selection. Service providers or service contractors are any firm or individual who provides exposition management and exhibitors with goods or services used to create the physical environment for the exposition and all its related elements. There are 7 general criteria when choosing service providers. Number 1 is like personal past experience, availability, referrals, site familiarity, available resources, cost, and professional affiliation. And even there are many service providers out there, but those who can work in perfect synchronization with organizers are mostly like to be chosen. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing here. Done for me, please.
Our group ค่ะ Group 2 for the service provider selection ค่ะ In the context of the mice industry, service provider selection refer to the process of selecting and contracting with supplier and vendor to provide various services required to organize and execute an event or convention. These services may include event planning and management, transportation, accommodation, catering, audiovisuals, equipment rental, securities, and other related services. The service provider selection process involves identifying potential suppliers, evaluating their capability and pricing, negotiating contract, and ultimately selecting the service provider that best meet the need of the event. It is important to select reliable and experienced service provider who can deliver high quality services within the budget and time frame of the event. Effective service provider selections can help ensure that the success of an event and enhance the experience of the attendees. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Just type done for me, please. Next. มีกลุ่มไหนบ้างนะ good
Group A
right okay good
selection of destination.
yeah
The key factor for selecting destination is accessibility. For any destination to be preferred, they have to be accessible and convenient. And another key factor is location attractiveness. It can be measured through scenery, culture, history, and architectures. And for corporate meeting, the availability of meeting facility also come into play. And next is there must be enough room to accommodate every attendees and meeting rooms to meet all requirements. And technology and quality of service is very important. And one of the most important factors that can influence the decision of hosting cooperating meetings and incentive travel is safety and security at this destination.
Group C ค่ะ Okay, today we're gonna talk about service provider. Service provider or service contractor are any firm or individual who provide exposition management and exhibitor with good service used to create the environment for the exposition. Organization can use 7 general criteria as a reference when choosing service provider. First one is personal past experience. The second one is availability. Third one is referral. Fourth is site familiarity. Fifth is available resource. Sixth is cost, and the last one is professional affiliation. Although there are many service providers, those who can work in perfect synchronization with organizer are the most likely be chosen.
And there also has 5 ways to ensure success. The first one, choose a service provider that know your business. Next, clearly define your requirements. The third, develop realistic expectation. The fourth, choose capability over cost. And the last one, motivate your outsourcing partner or service provider. Thank you.
all right thank you so much for your sharing here just type
Our
done
group,
for me
please.
please yeah good
So our topic is service provider selection. Service provider or service contractors, they're a firm or individual who provides expositions and exhibitors with these elements for physical, environmental. So moving on to the organization can use the 7 general criteria as reference. When choosing a provider, the first one is personal past experience. The second, availability. The third, referrals.
And for site familiarity is like how well they can approach to them, and clear available resources. And cost is one of the most important thing when considering about the budget expenses, some kind of like thing. And also professional affiliation is can be useful. So therefore it's key to be chosen how strong relationship they can have with organizers. Thank you.
all right just type done for me please ครบหรือยัง so every group everyone done right ดันแล้วยังน่าจะครบแล้วล่ะนะ So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. All right, so this is all about like for today class content matters or even like a chapter that we are going to see for organizer attendee decision making when it comes to running any kind of MICE business, for example, like conferences, right? Or organizer exhibition here, right? That's all for today class. So we are going to break for 15 minutes first, and second half for today class, I'm going to let you write just because it might be one of the question for the midterm exam, right? So the midterm exam just focus on reflective writing. You have to do with me weekly basis, right? And we're gonna random this kind of question and just make sure that you cover every week and just if you just because I think that if you can cover every week, you have some idea to write on that day, right? Okay, so here it is not likely to be a midterm exam, but it's kind of mock exam for all of you to write and research a bit from the internet, or even if you can review, right, from the core lesson here, you have to come up with this kind of thing, right? So the question might be a little bit chip into the core content, into the thinking skills, right? Or critical thinking skills, just because we have to will research a bit. All right, so the core question here, we can come up after 15-minute break, right? And also you can research if you are free to do so, right? So the core question here is that justify your perspective on the impact of environmental problems, let's say issues on MICE businesses, right? Which can be operated and fully organized in accordance with a future trend in this climate change, for example, like COVID-19 outbreak, telecommunication, distant communication here, or even wars, right? So is there any problems about environmental, right, problems here? And how can we operate if we see some kind of problem to each other, right? You're gonna have like a 1 hour to write and then just submit into the Google form. And if you finish early, you can leave from the Zoom, right? But for now, we are going to break for 15 minutes. Yep. Right, we have to finish a class just like this and see you next week. Bye bye.